confidence this squad is, because you look at the first 11 on the pitch and it's not a bad first 11, but you're just missing that player just to grab the game and try and take a bit of control in it.
So Manchester United back in possession, just on the halfway line. First real attack they had, of course, and I suppose it's not easy marking Marcus Rashford as Ashley Young looks for the run of Mata, but it's always arcing away from the Spaniard through to Wayne Hennessey. A little bit critical, I suppose. Rashford can beat defenders. Was he a little bit exposed there, Ward, or was you think he just made the wrong decision?
I think Ward makes the wrong decision. He allows Rashford to have that split-second thought there to go back down the line, because he leaves quite a big gap, and Ward actually sort of tries to preempt where Rashford's going to go, and he tries to just close down the pass back down the line, which just allows Rashford to cut back onto his left foot, go down the line, and he knows he's got the pace to beat him. So I think it's poor defending from Ward and Crystal Palace, but I have to say, got to give credit to Rashford there. It's great skill and a great turn of pace.
Manchester United back in possession. Crystal Palace can't make the ball stick anywhere on the pitch, really, as Ashley Young picks it up left-hand side, but this time he can't find Rashford. He has stopped Andros Townsend breaking away from inside his own half. Sliding challenge, puts the ball into touch. Crystal Palace throw. Try and keep you up to speed with the Premier League scores and scorers as they go in. If you didn't know, the early game finished Huddersfield 0, Tottenham Hotspur 4. So another Harry Kane-inspired performance from Spurs as Mkhitaryan goes round the outside of Cabaye, but he overruns it, and it will be a throw into Palace halfway inside their own half. Right-hand side with Marcus Rashford, certainly a target for Manchester United passes so far, given what he's done. No surprise. Lukaku, I don't think, had a touch yet as a chief goal scorer for Manchester United this season. Work back to David De Gea by Fellaini, cleared downfield. Hasn't left it the Manchester United half, and Andros Townsend's picked it up. He does have Ward on the overlap, and he feeds the full-back now. Gets to their first head of Ashley Young. It's across towards the far post. Bodies Clyde, but what... I think the referee has pulled it back. No obvious advantage. I think Ashley Young just caught Ward as he delivered. The ball was still bouncing around in the United box. Surprising that it was pulled back then. And looking at a replay, I don't know if he slipped, but it's certainly late, and no surprise, a free kick given. Yeah,
just trying to block the cross there, misses it and goes through the man, so yeah, has to be a free kick, and immediate chance of Palace to try and get back on level terms. They've got to make the most of the set pieces in this game. They've got a little bit of height in their team, but certainly these are the opportunities they need to try and take.
Yeah, the two-man wall is just inside the box. It's not too far from the goal line. It's floated towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and that's headed over, looping header over from Mamadou Sakho. He looks a little bit disappointed when he got to his feet. Certainly a chance, and looking at a replay, he was the only one to leave the ground. Maybe he should have done better.
Yeah, possibly, but you look at Maran Fellaini, who just gives him just a slight little nudge there in the back, Fellaini there, around sort of the left shoulder of Sako. Just gives him a little nudge as he's just about to make contact with the ball with his head, and maybe that puts him off slightly, just sort of brings him off balance. But yeah, you look at that and probably should have at least hit the target, you feel, Sako.
Cleared downfield by David De Gea. Slight misjudgment there from Jason Puncheon, trying to get up early to beat Fellaini in the air. Obviously giving away a few inches there. He got up too early, and he's inadvertently headed it into touch behind him. Halfway inside the Palace half. United down their right, take the throw in, and it's back with Mkhitaryan to Valencia. Now driving infield, little toe poke towards Mata, lovely little touch for Fellaini, who holds off at the attentions of his man, feeds it back to Mata, who just can't dig it out from his feet. Fellaini still fighting away to try and get the ball in. He goes down in the box, appeals for a penalty from one or two Manchester United players, waved away by Mike Dean. The clearance is only towards Antonio Valencia. Now Matic just on the edge of the box, tries to work it into a more dangerous position, took a deflection. Potential break is on for Palace, although everybody was behind the ball and needed a bit of pace. Andros Townsend trod on the ball. He's lost possession to Ashley Young, and now Mata is able to bring it forward. Tease it down the left channel for Lukaku, who is onside. Rashford's in the box. It's a low one in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but a stretching Sako clears it away, and all of a sudden the pace of the game ramps up.
It does indeed, but it just one pass has cut Crystal Palace open there. Lukaku pulls out to the channel there, and it's not a bad cross into the box, but good defending in the end.
There's a little triangle at the edge of the box. I'm not sure Lukaku was expecting the flick from Mkhitaryan, because he had a bit of space there. Maybe he was expecting a runner behind him. He's got a smile on his face as he gives the thumbs up to one or two teammates, but half a chance there for Lukaku had he gathered that pass, because he would have collected it inside the box and with the potential to shoot. But the pace of the game just ramping up. United's last couple of attacks didn't yield a shooting opportunity, but there was a half-hearted penalty claim. Not so on Juan Mata, but maybe Fellaini. Difficult to see on replays what Palace did there.
Yeah, nothing really in terms of making a foul. I think there's a little... It's the back boot there, the left boot there, the heel. I think Damien Delaney just pokes it through the legs of Fellaini there, and unwittingly does that. And then Fellaini just falls to the floor there, hoping that he'd get a penalty. So a good call from the referee not to give anything.
Mkhitaryan feeds it to Juan Mata, 25 yards out to the left edge of the box, and Marcus Rashford. Mkhitaryan's gone offside, has to ignore him. Tees it back to Matic, who goes for the curler, can't keep it down. And I think after that early run, it does look as though Ward is a little bit off Rashford at the moment, doesn't want to get turned too easily.
Yeah, I mean, he needs a lot of help from Townsend. He needs to get back to the former Spurs and Newcastle man. Just needs to give him support, give him that cover. You've got to look to someone like Milivojevic as well to come across and help him out a little bit more. That's where all the attacks are coming at the moment, down that left-hand side. And if they continue to leave Ward exposed just by himself, then it's going to be a long old afternoon.
It remains Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 0. The goal coming in the 3rd minute as the ball is flicked on for Sako to chase, but Smalling's there first. I think he wanted David De Gea to collect. In the end, David De Gea takes forever, and it's a poor clearance. It's found Sako just on the edge of the box, tries to float it back towards the far side. It's too high. It's allowed Ashley Young to head it back to Phil Jones. Manchester United arguably being a little bit too complacent as Matic is upended. Puncheon's pointing to the ball, felt he got some of it, and United would have been caught short at the back there. A couple of chances there for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, De Gea for me just takes one touch too many inside his own penalty area there, and just to get it upfield and get rid of it. And he sort of puts his team in a little bit of danger, but they couldn't make the most of the opportunity, Palace. And then, Matic just holding on for it a little bit long, but he was fouled, so a good decision by the referee. But there is a little bit of hope for Palace in terms they do have pace in the team, but at the moment there's no one in midfield. There's Cabaye and Milivojevic. No one's taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
Early stages since the goal have been fairly even in a sense. Certainly the best chance has fallen to Crystal Palace from a set piece. A Cabaye delivery from the right, and Mamadou Sakho got up and headed over the bar from just inside the 6-yard box. Mata and Fellaini were then denied by challenges in the box. Legal challenges, no penalty given. Certainly not much of a request from Manchester United either, before Matic, after more good work from Marcus Rashford, fired over from the left of the D. David De Gea almost presented Palace with a gilt-edged opportunity, but rescued by a poor decision, having given the ball away. A poor decision by Palace themselves as Manchester United try and get a grip. 1-0.
1-0 it is, and United are currently in possession. They have a throw on the far right side of the field with Valencia. It's just about level with the edge of Palace's penalty area, and he just throws it in field to find Matic, who takes a couple of touches under no immediate pressure. Gives it back to Valencia now, hugging the touchline. Now Fellaini, back to Valencia. United just knocking it around quite easily at the moment as Matic tries to come forward, but a few bodies in front of him. Ball back now towards the halfway line as Fellaini just gives it to Mata now, the goal scorer. Spaniard in turn goes towards Smalling. Now Jones just over the halfway line. Spreads it to his right-hand side to find Matic. He's had a big impact since arriving in the summer from Chelsea. Now a nice ball out to this left side for Young. Looks to get past his marker now in Townsend. Goes back in field to find Matic. And at the moment the Red Devils are just patiently pressing forward. Ball out to the right-hand side to Valencia. Around 25 yards out. Has a crack at goal. Takes a deflection. Matic then with a little head into the box. And Palace managed to clear their lines.
Yeah, it's cleared up towards Valencia, who's got underneath it a little bit, but bailed out by Matic with a header back to the halfway line of Phil Jones. Manchester United can start again. Obviously a bright start for the home side. I wouldn't say it's settled their nerves necessarily. It might have created one or two for Ward though, and he's a lot closer to Rashford on this occasion, but too close, says the referee Mike Dean. A little shoulder barge as Rashford tried to work the give and go. Spotted by the official. Free kick to United halfway inside the Palace half. Played back into their own half by Ashley Young. To Phil Jones. Manchester United quite happy to make Palace do the running. Lukaku is allowed to turn. He's dropped very deep on this particular attack. Holds off the first defender. Doesn't play a great ball, but Ashley Young is quicker to it than Andros Townsend. Neither were probably expecting. And not for the first time, Matic then runs into a bit of traffic. And so Palace have it back. It's with Cabaye, who plays it back to the edge of his own box, and Mamadou Sakho. And Palace can start again. Cabaye, a long one too with Sako again. And now Sako floats it over to the left-hand side. And Van Aanholt hit long for the run of Sako. But the run is marshalled by Chris Smalling. Got himself between man and ball. Shepherd's behind. And that will be a goal kick. 15 minutes ticking over at Old Trafford. Off-tube studio commentary. United 1, Palace 0. Matter the goal scorer on 3 minutes, but for me, I don't know whether it's the rain. It's raining in Manchester. Manchester United made 1 or 2 mistakes in possession. There is a potential there for Palace to break. Yeah,
it's a slick surface, it appears, at the moment, and there's been a couple of sort of opportunities promoting themselves for Palace, but they just need to press a little bit further. They're giving United a little bit too much time on the ball, but I suppose that comes down to a confidence issue and being 1-0 down so early in the game. And yeah, they've not really got the ball to Sako, Bakary Sako that is. I mean, he's a big unit. I mean, he can hold the ball well, but he's just not had any sort of service with him. Puncheon, he's not really done a lot in this game either, so you need those midfield players to be a little bit better. Here's
Mkhitaryan down the left channel, left-footed cross, almost reached Lukaku at the far post. Again, it's a stretching interception, this time from Van Aanholt. Manchester United are trying to defend high up the pitch, and in the end, it's Ward who just has to clear it downfield. Sako wants a free kick. He felt he was pulled out of the way by Phil Jones, but no, says Mike Dean. Manchester United come again with Valencia down the right-hand side. He's beaten 2, beaten 3, but he can't beat that 4. He's going to put Van Aanholt under pressure. Aanholt turns, clears downfield, Puncheon heads infield to Cabaye. Mkhitaryan had given him a bit of space. Now under pressure is Milivojevic. Fellaini a little bit too aggressive in his challenge from behind. That'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace. But yeah, Manchester United certainly attacking both flanks now. Rashford's been prominent early doors, but Valencia has now been on a couple of runs down at the right. Of course, the one matters, the goal scorer playing on the right nominally, but obviously came into the middle to convert the Rashford pullback as Wayne Hennessey ushers defenders away for this free kick. Still not taken, halfway inside the Palace half. It's a diagonal out towards the right-hand side. It's over the head of Sako, but Townsend, it bounced awkwardly in front of him, couldn't control. Young and Jones cleared downfield. Sako finds Milivojevic, who in turn plays it back the way he's facing to his keeper. And it's a first-time bomb downfield for Hennessey. Smalling beats Sako in the air. Mkhitaryan works an inadvertent 1-2 with Ward. In fact, he is happy for it to go out and play for a throw, which he takes. Back to Ashley Young. Matic, Young, Matic, just inside their own half, and maybe just hoping to entice the Eagles into more attacking positions. You mentioned they're not pressing high up the pitch. All the players are in their own half at the moment. Yeah, it's not good enough really from Palace. I mean, I know you don't want to press too high at times there, but you just got to give United something to think about, because when they're on the ball, there's far too much time for them just to take a touch, hold on to it, look around, play a pass. Needs to be more pressure, need to be snapping in at them, you know, sort of just nipping at the heels there. Maybe, I mean, not leaving one in, but, you know, if you're slightly late, then, okay, you get away with it. And it's, you know, you just need them. You just need to give the United players something to sort of think about when they are getting the ball. Not, oh, I've got 2 days, really, to control the ball and pass it away. Manchester United just moving it from right to left, slow tempo at the moment, no urgency from them at the moment. Of course, they are a goal to the good as Mata tees it into the box towards Lukaku. Out comes Wayne Hennessey, and he's got there first. Needed 2 bites at the cherry, but Lukaku was committed to getting there first, and of course couldn't adjust once it was intercepted by Hennessey. Can't really blame him for the goal either. And other than that, Manchester United haven't tested Hennessey. Of course, Palace at the other end haven't tested De Gea either. They've had one effort at goal, but headed over the bar from the Cabaye free kick. Got an opportunity here though, as Jones was hoping the ball would run out of play for a goal kick. It hasn't, so he's been forced to concede a throw in. Pretty high up the pitch. Can tell you Salomon Rondon has put West Brom in front at home to Watford. That's only the second goal gone in the 3 o'clock Premier League kickoffs. So the others so far still goalless. And from that attacking throw that I was trying to get excited about, Palace have gone all the way back to the halfway line, and Puncheon is trying to get a passage back to his keeper, so a little bit nervy.
I mean, that just really sums up Crystal Palace in this opening 20 minutes so far. Like you said, an attacking position for a throw-in. They could have gone long into the box. They could have done anything. They could have just taken it short and just tried to get a crossing, but under no real pressure, work it back to the halfway line, and then Puncheon goes for a 50-plus yard pass back to his goalkeeper. Really, that sums it up for Palace and how they played so far.
Running it out of play on the right-hand side is Juan Mata. Throw in Palace with just over 20 minutes played at Old Trafford. It's independent off-tube studio commentary of the clash. Manchester United one up through Juan Mata. Palace starting to see a little bit more of the ball. They haven't threatened as yet, as Smalling gives Sako absolutely no time. Again, he's a little bit frustrated with the referee that he didn't get any kind of decision there. Although Smalling seemed intent on trying to get round Sako to get the ball. Obviously a bit of contact, but never quite took the man out, as it were. And Manchester United just knocking it across the halfway line again, right to left. Matic has dropped in between Smalling and Jones and fires it out to Ashley Young. Left-hand side, Rashford has gone infield for a bit, back to Matic in support. Now Mkhitaryan, back to Matic, pressing the ball a little bit more now. Certainly Johan Cabaye is. Jones goes across to Smalling. That's a poor ball from Smalling, but again, they're not quite on the front foot there, Palace. Van Aanholt got there first. Valencia's quick to get it back as the break is on, although Mkhitaryan's attempted through ball is blocked. And now Palace have possession on the halfway line. Juan Mata trying to close down Van Aanholt. He's got support from Schlupp. Now back to Van Aanholt, who's been dispossessed by Valencia, dispossessed inside the Palace half, and Valencia's allowed to turn and feed Lukaku. Palace just more intent on getting back into position. As we suggested, they're not pressurising the ball carrying. Mkhitaryan's allowed to bring it down, drills it across, it's behind everybody in the middle. Although Andros Townsend's taken a touch, goes down under a challenge from Rashford. It didn't appear much of a challenge, and I don't think he's got the free kick, so this should be a corner.
Yeah, I think it should. I mean, yeah, it is a corner there, and rightly so. Townsend, he's just trying to buy a free kick there inside his own penalty area, and Rashford was just too quick there and too sort of streetwise there not to put any sort of challenge in on him.
Second, the first corner rather for Manchester United, and it's Juan Mata delivering towards the far post, and I think Smalling got some kind of head on it, but it's hacked away by Cabaye. Ashley Young from just inside the Palace half, under pressure, goes back to David De Gea. I think for a moment Puncheon was thinking about closing down the United keeper, but he had 30 yards or so to run, decided to get back into position. The second goal's gone in at the Hawthorns. West Brom running riot. Johnny Evans with the Baggies' second goal, so they're now 2-0 up at home to the Hornets. And it's the only other game with a goal in it, apart from this one, of course, as far as 3 o'clock Premier League kick-off. If you didn't know, Chelsea against Manchester City is the late game at 5:30. Manchester United still in possession, but so far not really threatening a second goal, but the urgency is kind of gone. Just about the halfway point of the first period, and Manchester United bossing possession without really threatening. Palace are seeing a little bit more of the ball than they were in the first few minutes, but again, they're not doing anything with it. Chances are few and far between. Manchester United are playing at their own pace, really waiting for Palace to try and commit further downfield, hit them on the break. It's just not quite working in the final third for that second goal for Manchester United, but so far they are pretty comfortable, boosted of course by that very early Juan Mata goal. It's Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, just seeing replays there as well of Damien Delaney basically wrapping his arms around the neck of Maran Fellaini, and if the referee sees that, then there is all possibility he could have given a foul and it would have been a penalty there, but as it is, he didn't see it, and Palace get away with that one. But something to watch as the ball is played long upfield. They're looking for Sako, but again it's missed the target, and Manchester United have themselves a throw inside their own half. It's now towards Jones. Now Matic picks up possession, and well, again he can just walk this one forward towards the halfway line. Absolutely no pressure from Palace, and Fellaini now has possession. He'll just play it to his left hand side to find Jones. Now towards Young. Infield to Matic again, and easy stuff for the Red Devils. That's not a great pass though, as Townsend intercepts that from Matic. Now he flicks the ball in field. Maybe an opportunity. Ward with the ball in field now. Maybe a chance for a shot for Sako. Puts the ball into the area instead there. Maybe a chance for Cabaye. Into the box he goes, but he's appealing for a corner when he's... I don't think he's going to get that either. It looked like it was a corner kick, but I think the linesman has pointed for a goal kick, and just for a moment there was an opening for Bakary Sako to have a shot. Yeah,
I mean there was. I mean it's still from distance, and obviously David De Gea's proven he's one of the world's best keepers. Perhaps didn't fancy it. He did spot the run of Cabaye. They did get a corner in the end. Townsend will take it.
Yeah, he whips it in with his left foot there towards the back post, and it's headed behind for another corner kick. Smalling, the man that got to it first. There was no one really around him there in terms of an opponent, so maybe not the best defensive clearance, but he wasn't sure. Puts it behind, rather safe than sorry, but another chance from a set piece for the Eagles. Corner to come in from the far side. I think Townsend may be trotting over to take this one. No, it's going to be Cabaye actually. He'll swing it in with his right foot, so it'll be an in-swinging delivery. They've got Sakho, Delaney, Milivojevic in the box at the moment. Cabaye puts his hand up, then swings this one in there towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Again, Smalling gets to it first, so that's a good defensive header. And then Mata helps it forward, but Palace have it back out to the left-hand side. Townsend gets it onto his right foot, then puts in a flat delivery into the box. It's helped up into the air by Schlupp, and then it's flicked further on by Delaney. Now a header into the area by Sako is cleared away by Jones. Now it's picked up by Rashford as he stretches his legs down this left-hand side, and he's got the pace there to get past 1 and 2 there. Does he give Ward a little nudge there? No, the referee says that's fine, but Ward does well to get back on his feet, and then he's going to win his side. He's not. The referee says to get on his feet. There was a challenge that came in. United are going to have a throw, and just as they do that, Matic almost gives away possession. That's a couple of times now that Matic is sloppily giving away the ball, but United do still have possession now, as Smalling placed out to the right-hand side. But Rashford there showing his pace and the confidence that he has when he basically gave Ward about 5 yards, if not more there, and he nearly got past him.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the referee didn't give a free kick in Ward's favour there, because I thought Rashford trying to get to the ball did give him a kind of shoulder in the back. Maybe the referees thought shoulder to shoulder. I don't know. I thought he was a little bit behind. But then he let that go, and then he let something else go. You just wonder if he's going to be consistent. There's a cross is blocked by a hand there. Lukaku tries to deliver it in. Jason Puncheon doesn't like the decision. You can tell that by a bit of... basic lip reading, but looking at a replay, the arms up, he's arguably protecting his head, but the arms are up, and he's a little bit fortunate that he's outside the box. Yeah, I mean, it's silly from him really. Sometimes you've got to be brave and just let the ball hit you in the face, but he puts both of his arms up there to protect himself. It hits them, and the referee has no other option really to point for the free kick. It was the linesman who signalled, and the referee gives the decision. There's a chance now for United to maybe grab a second goal. An in-swinging delivery from this free kick, but a lot of height in the team. Mata standing over at the goal scorer. It'll be a left-footed delivery. 2 on the edge of the box and 5 in the area for United ahead of this free kick. And Mike Dean eventually blows the whistle. Now Mata whips it in towards the far post there, but it's an easy take for Hennessey, who doesn't have to get off the ground there. Puts both of his hands up, clutches it to his chest, and that's a missed opportunity. Yeah, it's not great delivery. You'd expect maybe Mata to whip it in with a bit more pace there, and anything can happen. Obviously it looks fairly wet conditions. I don't think it's the worst that have ever been played, but will make things a little bit tricky for keepers. And I think the delivery from Palace from sort of corners and free kicks has been a little bit more dangerous so far than Manchester United. There haven't been many, but I think Cabaye's been putting some decent balls. He's got an opportunity again because Sako's forced he's blocked Smalling's clearance back onto the United defender. He's gone behind, so it's a corner kick to Crystal Palace. Yeah, not the greatest defending there from Smalling sometimes. It's just better to put it straight out of play.
but he doesn't. So a corner kick, which Cabaye will take. Right-footed delivery into the box there. Oh, there's nearly a free header for Sako. Around 7 yards out. It's headed back out to Cabaye, though. He will swing it in again there towards the penalty spot area. Headed away by Matic. Now it's nodded back towards the edge of the box there. Sako will chest it down, but he's came from an offside position there. So a free kick to United, and they're going to be made to...
Going to challenge as United go long this time, but it's overhit. That should be through to Wayne Hennessey. But given the fact they've obviously not scoring Crystal Palace, and they conceded 3 inside the 3rd minute, I don't think it's been a bad response. They haven't really tested Manchester United yet, but they're starting to get into better positions, and this game is certainly not over.
No, not over at all. And it stays 1-0. There's always a chance for the opposition who are trailing as come forward as Mkhitaryan. Now that's a dreadful ball by him, though. It's easily picked off by Aanholt, who will go all the way back to his goalkeeper Hennessey. He'll play it first time upfield. A long clearance there, looking for Sako, but Jones gets ahead of him, wins his header, but the header's straight to Puncheon. Now it's with Cabaye. Sprays it out to this near right side for Townsend. Skips past a challenge from Young, still under pressure. Lovely play by Townsend, though. Goes back down the line, still coming forward there. Young has a swipe at him, but he misses. Now Cabaye swings in a delivery towards the far post, and it's going to be nodded behind by Valencia. Another corner kick for Palace, who were just starting to build a bit ahead of steam.
Yeah, I mean, there's no surprise that Andros Townsend's involved. Of course, he has played for England. He's got a bit of pace, bit of trickery. He can use either foot. Okay, it's not always perfect, but he's going to give Ashley Young, who's not a natural fullback, some kind of test today, and I think he certainly won it on that occasion. Delivery wasn't brilliant, but it has forced another corner. This is a 4th corner for Crystal Palace. Manchester United have only had 1.
Yeah, certainly racking up the set pieces, but they've yet to do anything with them, really. As Cabaye again will put his hand up, and in-swinging delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Fellaini, then it's helped back into the area, and again the clearance is completed, and it's long at field, and there's maybe a chance for Rashford now as the keeper comes out of his area. Oh, I tell you what, Hennessey's actually done really well there. He chests the ball when Rashford was bearing down, and somehow Palace have got away with it, and they've got the ball inside United's half at the moment. It's with Milivojevic. Just goes towards Puncheon on the halfway line. Yeah, Schlupp out to the left-hand side, and Schlupp just keeps that ball in. A dreadful ball, but he did well eventually. Now the ball in field. Cabaye threads one through there, maybe an opportunity. Sako into the area, has a shot at the near post, saved by De Gea, and out for a throw-in on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's better from Palace. I think Valencia tried to intercept, so it just caught a little bit higher up the pitch. It's a good ball in. Sako doesn't have many options from there. You wouldn't expect David De Gea to be beaten from that kind of angle just inside the box, but it's hit with power, it's on target, it's making the keeper work, and Palace are actually enjoying a good spell.
They are indeed, as they have it on this near right side with Mamadou Sakho. Put his ball forward's poor, but then the touch from Rashford is even worse as it goes straight out of play off his left boot there. So will be a throw-in for the Eagles. Ward will take it. He's had a bit of rest, right, Ward has. As Townsend comes forward now, into the area he goes. They're trying to get past Jones, who does well to cover. Falls as far as Cabaye, though, then whips it towards the far post. Maybe a chance. It drops in the box, though, and Valencia can bring it down, and maybe United can come forward themselves. It's a long clearance upfield, though, looking for Lukaku. Wins his header, but he flicks it on, and there's absolutely no one there, and Palace have possession back. But, well, Townsend just starting to get involved in this a little bit more now. That was a good run into the box, but good covering by Jones.
Yeah, it's good covering by Jones. He went down rather easily, a little bit like, I think it was Ward earlier on, trying to get a decision that was never going to come. And United just look a little bit stretched. Again, I mean, it's a winger against a winger, really, Ashley Young. I mean, he's obviously getting a little bit old. He's not got the pace that Townsend's got. I think a little bit like Ward against Rashford, he arguably needs some kind of support. Jones was quick to spot the danger and got across. But, yeah, I mean, Crystal Palace... I mean, they've got creativity in the side. I know they've got 1 or 2 injuries, obviously, but I mean, Townsend's played for England. They need to feed him more, particularly his last 2 runs against Ashley Young. Go and get Ashley Young, backpedaling, see what he can get out of it.
Yeah, there's just the worry that may become a bit predictable, Palace, in terms of it's all coming down this right side at the moment with Townsend. Schlupp's not doing a lot on that left-hand side. He's not getting the ball, he's not driving at the right-back Valencia, but you have to say Valencia's probably got the pace, or can at least match the pace of Schlupp as United work it forward. Rashford, that's a good bit of control, and he just shoulders this one towards Mkhitaryan, who tries to feed it down the line for Rashford, deflects off the legs there of Townsend, throw in to the Red Devils. Young takes it and throws it back towards halfway, and Matic will feed it now to Jones, and they'll look to start again from the back. Matic in possession as he goes for a switching ball from left to right, and it's a good one as well. Brought down by Valencia first time. Now he brings it forward, goes for the 1-2, but Mata holds on to it. Back to Valencia. Now Mata again, chance to whip it into the box, holds on to it though, feeds it infield to find Mkhitaryan. Now with Matic. Midway through Palace's half, out to this near left-hand side. Young in possession, couple little step-overs, then swings one in towards the far post. Great ball! Oh, and into the back of the net, and there's the second ball, and it's Marouane Fellaini. Well, probably an unlikely scorer for Manchester United, but what a ball that is from Ashley Young there. A couple step-overs onto his right foot. It's a teasing ball there, just curled in towards that top right corner, and there's Fellaini arriving, goes behind everybody, volleys it in. United 2, Palace 0.
Just after Crystal Palace generated a bit of pressure themselves, Ashley Young has provided a brilliant assist for Marouane Fellaini to give Manchester United their second goal and perhaps a bit more confidence. Certainly Palace were on the front foot, but Ashley Young, a little shimmy, got it onto his right foot inside Townsend. The delivery was perfect. Fellaini's ghosted in behind the rest of the Palace defence and side-footed from no more than 3-4 yards out. It's certainly against the run of play, and it might just be the end of the game. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant delivery from Young. I have to say the attempted block from Townsend isn't the greatest. It gives Young just that split second to get onto his right foot, whip the ball in, and Fellaini again, I mean the marking, if Lukaku just misses it, Fellaini's behind him unmarked. I mean, you cannot leave two players like that, or at least one player unmarked to the back post. He made him pay there, Fellaini volleying in, and Fellaini certainly showing that he is a big part of this Manchester United team. Even some thought he may have been shipped out in the summer, but he's obviously a favourite of Jose Mourinho's, and with a couple injuries they have as well, Michael Carrick and Paul Pogba, he probably will feature more prominently as United have possession around their defensive line at the moment there. You see shots of Jose Mourinho, still doesn't look very happy, but 2-0 ahead. As Jones has possession just inside his own area, got a little bit of work to do as he feeds it down the line to Young, who's under pressure and he missed control now. It's with Townsend, tries to put a ball low towards the edge of the area. Fellaini then gets him with a little coming together. Palace do still have possession though. Milivojevic, there's a man out to the left hand side and he finds him eventually in Van Aanholt, around 25 yards out, dinks one into the area. Jones heads it away towards Valencia, who then will just cushion it towards Fellaini. Back to Valencia, who I thought was just going to clear it down the line, but he actually does well to bring it in field, finds Fellaini, who will chip it towards halfway. Lukaku can't get on the end of that one, and Palace have possession back, but where on earth do Palace go from now in the game? Yeah,
it's a tricky one there, but I mean, not for the first time. Manchester United arguably playing a bit too much football, not very well inside their own half. Phil Jones is taking forever to make a decision. He's then played to Ashley Young, who knows he's got a defender on him, but wants to take a touch. He's dispossessed. And then there's half an opportunity there. I mean, even when the cross eventually came in, it wasn't immediately from Palace having the ball. It's a 2-on-1, but the cross is straight to Phil Jones. Here's Manchester United. Yeah, it's Mkhitaryan bearing down on the edge of the box. Lukaku with a little flick is to nobody. He didn't look there. He just thought there was someone behind him, and Palace managed to bring the ball away, but again Van Aanholt brings it up to halfway and there's no one really ahead of him, no one making those clever runs, and Milivojevic now loses possession far too easily. Valencia will just float this one forward looking for Lukaku, who wins his header, but the offside flag had gone up there, way offside. There's been another goal in the 3 PM matches. West Brom 2, Watford 1, so the Hornets have pulled one back, but apart from that game and our game, there's been no other goals elsewhere. Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0, Stoke 0, Southampton 0, and West Ham 0, Swansea 0. Earlier kick-off finished Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 4. Harry Kane grabbing 2 goals as Palace come forward now. As a chip ball into the box is deflected and it's cleared away.
by Jones. It's way up into the air though, comes down with snow on it, but Matic shows a brilliant touch on him there, brings it down first time, and now United can try and work it out from the back. Matic, he loses possession though, and there's maybe a chance for Palace there. Sliding challenge comes in from Van Aanholt, and now they can bring it forward with Townsend. He's looking for someone out on that right flank. There's absolutely no one. He still has the ball just on the edge of the box. Into the area he goes, chips it towards the far post. Valencia chests it down, and it's into the hands of De Gea. Townsend's furious, and I can see why, because no one's there to support him in either on the right hand side or when he puts his cross in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he actually didn't have a run though at Ashley Young, or if he's not going to do that, he keeps Ashley Young honest and then plays it to the overlap, but he didn't want to do that either. I suppose Rashford was coming up in support. I don't know, they're just not making the right decision there, or they're taking too long to make the decision. And I can really understand in a way Townsend's frustration because when he crosses it in, he's got one man to aim for. Maybe he shouldn't have crossed it in, I don't know, but he didn't have a runner. But I'd like to see more in the box. I mean, they're 2-0 down. They should be busting a gut to try and get back in this game. And like you say, options aren't exactly forthcoming at the moment.
No, they're not. Continue. The goal scorer for Watford was Abdoulaye Doucouré. So pulled one back in what seems to be a decent game at the Hawthorns. West Brom 2, Watford 1. In our match, though, at Old Trafford, Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0, and still Palace are yet to score a Premier League goal. They have scored this season, that was in the League Cup, but haven't opened their account in England's top flight as Lukaku finds Rashford on the left-hand side, edge of the penalty area, looks to get into the box there and just flicks it in field. He's looking for Mkhitaryan there, just can't find his teammate, and Palace try to play it out from the back. Milivojevic finds Townsend, but he's going back in towards his own defensive third. Oh dearie me. And then he plays it back. I think he's just played that straight out without a flick on a United player, and he has. It's going to be a corner kick. I mean, it's all just going to pot at the moment for Palace. There's a corner chance now for United. Mkhitaryan standing over it. Matic has come for the short one, but I think he's been told to go back into the area. And again, Mkhitaryan whips this one in there towards the far post. Maybe a chance. The header's one. Oh, and it's wide of the post there. Smalling got himself up there far too easily. He's barely challenged at the back post. Wins his head. Seeing replays of it again. Ooh, he'd be disappointed he might not have hit the target there.
Yeah, if he does, I do think Hennessey's saving the ball there, because he's got his hands inside the post, so I think he knows exactly where it is. But still, yeah, could have easily hit the target, forced the keeper to do something, might have got another corner. And I think it was better delivery there. It was hit with a bit more pace. It means the keeper can't just amble off his line and claim it. It's a better delivery. Sako arguably has done just about enough, but I think it's a little bit passive. I think he's a little bit fortunate there, but here come Palace. Yeah,
it's towards the edge of the box now. Sako tries to drive in there, but he's been swarmed by a couple of United players, and the ball is cleared out onto the left-hand side. Goal at Stoke. Stoke 1, Southampton 0. Mami Biram Diouf has opened the scoring for the Potters as we're edging towards half-time, and all the 3 p.m. games is Palace take this throw, but nothing comes of it as United do their defensive work. Now Valencia has it towards the halfway line. He plays the ball back in field looking for Rashford, but it's a little bit away from his teammate, and the Eagles have possession now as Townsend turns on the halfway line and skips away from a poor challenge from Fellaini. Still coming forward is Townsend now. Oh, that's a ball towards Schlupp, who was just slightly on his heels, and in comes Fellaini to nip the ball away. Now Matic sprays it out to this left side for Young as he charges over the halfway line. Then he tries to feed it further down that channel for Rashford, but then the Eagles have possession back, but then it's given away by Sako. Bakary Sako as the ball is shipped out to the right-hand side. Mata now, ball into the area. Maybe a chance. Lukaku with a header flicks it on. It's fallen to Rashford at the back post there. Maybe a chance. Right-footed strike is saved by the foot there of Hennessey, and Palace are all over the shop at the back.
Yeah, defensively, I thought United were a little bit nonchalant there going forward. I mean, Rashford's obviously gone for power. I wasn't sure if it hit the post, actually. Mkhitaryan made a late run into the box, which sucked in Ward. Nobody else has tracked the run of Rashford. And again, I'm looking at a replay. I still think this is the post rather than Hennessey's boot, but it has gone behind. Can't tell if Stoke have got a penalty. Hennessey's obviously credited with a save.
Yeah, corner comes in there and Hennessey gets a good right fist to that one, but it's only as far as Valencia. Back out to the right hand side, edge of the box is Matic. He just goes inside the penalty area now, lays it back out to the right hand side for Mata, who will swing in a ball. It's a high one towards the far post, and all alone is Mkhitaryan, who takes it on the volley, and he gets it wrong. But I tell you what, again, it's that right-back area for Crystal Palace. There's always a man free. Mkhitaryan was free this time, but he just couldn't get that technique right. It was hard to score.
Yeah, it's difficult to score. I mean, he wants it to come down. He's hit it sweetly enough if you're going on power, but obviously it's always rising and never quite on target. I said Stoke had a penalty. They've missed that penalty, so it's still Stoke 1, Southampton 0. But all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know whether it's because Palace have thought about trying to get back into them going forward, but they appear to have bodies back there. And then nobody's tracking runners, and somebody's been in space. United guilty of missing the target on a couple of occasions there. I still think that's the post rather than Hennessey. I don't know if it took another deflection elsewhere, but denied by the woodwork. And Palace arguably want half-time to come.
Yeah, they need it, they really do. But you think to yourself, all right, what can Roy Hodgson do? Can he look at his bench to bring players on? And he's not got a lot on the bench either. He's got McArthur maybe to come into that centre of midfield, but can he provide that little spark to get the ball to the likes of Schlupp and Sako and Townsend? I'm not too sure. Jason Puncheon has done absolutely nothing. He could probably go off and McArthur could take his role, or Cabaye could push forward a little bit further. But certainly I think at least one personnel change is needed for Palace at the break, and maybe a little change in their thinking. As the ball is with Van Aanholt, tries to play it down the line. It's intercepted. Fellaini now doing a few tot-ups. Now he finds Matic, back to Fellaini, and then Valencia has it on the halfway line. Now it's with Matic as he comes forward, looking for some options. And again, he just has the time to look up, take a couple touches, spray a nice ball out to Young on this near left side, who then gets a little deflection off the legs of Townsend. Oh, that's a double deflection, though. It came back off Young again. So it will be a goal, a kick to United. Jose Mourinho has a minute until he has to talk to his players, because that is what we've got of added time, and he'll be pretty satisfied, not overly happy, but satisfied with the performance.
I mean, you've got to be happy 2-0 up, but I don't think United have played well in between the goals. Obviously, they got a very early goal, but they've been a bit sloppy in possession, particularly in their own half. I know Matt has scored, but I don't think that sort of front four has worked. I mean, Rashford set him up, but I don't think Lukaku, Rashford, Mata and Mkhitaryan have quite gelled today. Young, of course, provided the second goal for Fellaini, but since the second goal has gone in, there's been a couple of chances. Maybe they could have done better, but I think Mourinho would be a little bit disappointed with his front four.
Yes, they've not been at their fluent best at times, but I have to say 2-0. It was always going to be a tough ask for Crystal Palace in this game, but they've certainly shown that they are in trouble this season. It's going to be a battle against relegation, as we've had the minute of added time, and the referee now has blown at for half-time there. So at the break, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the third minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Full time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus Rashford down the left, causing all sorts of problems. Great pullback to the penalty spot. Juan Mata stroked home. It wasn't one-way traffic. Palace had a couple of chances, but the second goal came with 10 minutes of the half remaining. Ashley Young down the left, got it onto his right foot. Brilliant cross to the far post, and Fellaini followed home from close range. Smalling, Rashford and Mkhitaryan may have done better in other chances. It's United 2, Palace 0. Time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. United going in front inside the 3rd minute. Marcus. A warm welcome back to our coverage of Manchester United against Crystal Palace as the second half just gets underway. No changes at the break. It's as you were, but we'll run through the lineups in a moment. But obviously Crystal Palace's wait goes on. It's 6.5 games without a goal in the Premier League and counting, as Rashford charges down the left-hand side, digs out across towards the near post, and Lukaku just got there ahead of Delaney. His little flicked effort was blocked by the Palace defender. It's looped harmlessly over the bar, but it will be a corner kick. Again, Rashford pulling something out of the bag, and Delaney just about blocking Lukaku's effort. Whether it had beaten Hennessey is another question. The angle wasn't great, wasn't it, with particular power, but Delaney just made sure it didn't test the keeper. They didn't have as many corners as Palace in the first half, Manchester United, but of course they've got the first in the second. Mata whips it away towards the penalty spot, but only Palace defenders converge on it. It's cleared downfield, and Jones, who wasn't sent up for that corner, is able to collect. But well, Palace 6.5 games and counting without a goal. But obviously they need 2 to get something from this game. Can you see it happening?
No, I can't see them getting 1, to be honest. They did have a little spell in that first half where a few corners into the box, and Mamadou Sakho's looked quite threatening in the air, but apart from that, they just haven't tested De Gea enough. I just worry that they don't have that creativity in their team at the moment to carve out some clear-cut opportunities. I think De Gea is going to be keeping a clean sheet. I think they're going to have to go into the next game hoping to open their account, because I just don't think it'll happen in this game for them.
Yeah, obviously not helped by injuries. Benteke ruled out for potentially up to 6 weeks. Maybe more, depending on whether he gets a setback or not, as the ball is played by Lukaku in behind for Mkhitaryan. He tried a first time ball in, it's just got away from Matic, driven shot by Rashford, blocked by the sprawling, I think that's Delaney getting across, and it will just be a throw in, but that was hit with some power by Rashford. That surely would have tested Hennessey, but Crystal Palace survive for the moment as Ashley Young gets a throw in back off Juan Mata. Wrong foot's Townsend, nutmegs Ward, then goes down after contact. In fact, it was Milivojevic who'd come across. I'm not sure Milivojevic could have got out of the way, but Townsend sold himself a little bit down the river, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, like you, I don't think Milivojevic can get out the way, and I don't actually think Young's going to get on the end of his ball there when he nutmegged Milivojevic. But I think the referee was always going to give it, and it's a chance. United have started the second half very, very brightly. They want to put this game to bed as soon as possible. But on that block before from Rashford, it was brilliant from Delaney. He just threw himself at it and got a really good block. Because like you said, Rashford hit it with some power.
Free kick has not been taken yet. It's about 5 yards from the goal line, just outside the box, and it's whipped in towards the goal, and it's in the back of the net. Did it touch Fellaini? Certainly Hennessey didn't really move. Fellaini's getting mobbed by his teammates. Rashford took the kick, hit with power. It's 3-0. And I'm presuming by the celebrations that Fellaini's got his second.
Yeah, Fellaini's got a second. It's a really good free kick by Rashford. He just whips it with power towards the goal. So many bodies in the way that Hennessey can't see anything there. Right-footed, whips it in, and I think it does come off Fellaini in the end. I'm not sure if Rashford's shot. It's probably just going to creep in actually to the far post there, but we're seeing replays from behind. Fellaini gets in. Yeah, I mean, Hennessey actually doesn't cover himself for much glory because he comes a few yards off his line and just watches it go past him. And Fellaini's there to nod it in.
An early goal has gone in the second half as well as the first, and again it's for Manchester United. They're now 3-0 up at home to Crystal Palace. This time Marcus Rashford with a free kick, a fairly tight angle just outside the box left hand side. He's probably going for goal, but he's drilled it with a bit of whip and a bit of swerve into the 6-yard box. It might be creeping inside the far post, but Fellaini made sure from very close range, with Wayne Hennessey hardly covering himself in glory. Is that game over? It's Manchester United very much in control. They're now 3-0 up over Palace.
Yeah, any thoughts that Roy Hodgson had of let's start the second half well, let's try and just keep it 2-0 and nip one back? They're certainly gone out the window. As there's maybe a shout for a penalty now as Palace go into the box with Schlupp, and the referee immediately waves it away. But Schlupp is adamant that he was brought down there. Chris Smalling is the guilty party, or unguilty really, in this aspect, and Jones was involved as well. I'm not too sure. We're going to see replays now. Milivojevic finds Schlupp there. Oh, I'll tell you what, Smalling sticks out a leg there and trips Schlupp over for me. I just think the fact that the ball was already away from Schlupp and Jones was coming across may have just made the referee's decision easier, but Smalling makes no attempt really to get the ball there, and he completely wipes out Schlupp for me.
Palace straight back on the attack, and it's with Van Aanholt who feeds it to Sako, who's looking for the run of Puncheon. But in steps Valencia, and he does keep it in. He's right on the goal line. Make sure he doesn't concede a corner. Nobody's putting pressure on him. The pass is across towards Ashley Young, whose clearance on the turn is blocked away by Townsend into a touch. And it will be a throw into Manchester United halfway inside their own half. I thought it took a touch. Just waiting for the confirmation from the official. It's off Tube Studio commentary. And Mike Dean very much in shot. He's let a fair bit go, has Mike Dean. Of course, not everything's been a penalty claim, but he hasn't given too many free kicks.
No, he's tried to let it flow, hasn't he? There is a couple where, you know, they could have gone either way, and he probably should have blown for the fouls, but neither team has really had that much of an argument against him. I just think that sort of one penalty claim there, really. Fellaini had one in the first half, which I think was right not to give it, but that one was a little bit more controversial with Schlupp going over.
is, as Manchester United have possession back deep inside their own half. Game entering the 52nd minute at Old Trafford. Off Tube Studio commentary of the clash, which seems to be one way at the moment. Rashford leading the charge again, this time well shackled by Milivojevic. And he feeds Sako again, who charges forward. Now Schlupp, he hasn't got too much support. Fellaini nibbling at his ankles, runs into Jones. Fellaini gets back, gets the telling challenge in. But just looking at that, I mean, Palace are watching Schlupp try and beat 4 defenders. I don't want to suggest it, but it looks like they've kind of given up the ghost.
There just doesn't seem to be any sort of game plan from them at the moment in terms of when they're trying to attack. It is just kick it to probably one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player on their team, and try let him beat, like you said, 3 or 4 men there. They need a lot more composure, a lot more focus there. Yes, I know they're down 3-0 at Manchester United, but they need to show a little bit of fight and determination, because this is not the type of performances that are going to get them results, even against the lower sort of standard teams in the league.
Manchester United back in possession, Smalling across to Jones. There has been a bit of pressure being applied now by Cabaye high up the pitch. Jones goes back to De Gea, who clears downfield. Mkhitaryan, not much of a challenge, but it's forced an errant header from Mamadou Sakho into touch. United throw left hand side, just about on the halfway line. Just scores elsewhere to keep you up to speed. Still goalless Bournemouth, Leicester and West Ham Swansea. Stoke leading Southampton by a goal to 0. Of course, West Brom 2-1 up over Watford. Spurs won 4-0 at Huddersfield as the ball is fed through to Lukaku. Dispossessed by Delaney. Mata thought he might have got the loose ball, but it is ultimately cleared by Van Aanholt. Only to Valencia, and Manchester United come again. Mkhitaryan shows a little bit too much to Cabaye, but he's fortunate. A tackle ricochets to Lukaku. He tried a nutmeg pass. That's blocked by Milivojevic. Although Lukaku's going to win it back off Schlupp. Support from Mata, but Lukaku can't find him. He has won a throw-in, though, so it will be a United decision. But they're not exactly attacking in numbers. I think their defending's left a lot to be desired as well. Yeah,
I mean, that chance for Lukaku should have done a lot better before. His control when the ball comes to him is really poor. Doesn't get it out of his feet. Where the ball forward, though, it's just, again, it's one pass and it's absolutely sliced Palace open. And Lukaku, frustrated, didn't do better with the opportunity, but he did well to sort of get back and win the ball. And absolutely showed Schlupp up there when he just sort of barged him to the floor there. Good physical battle. But yeah, Palace's defending has been shaky. I mean, it looks like this 4 have not played together that often. And to be honest, you take away Sako and, well, the other 3 have played together quite a lot. And Sako had the on-loan spell at the end of last season, so they should know each other. But it's like they don't.
Ashley Young stops Ward getting away at the expense of a throw-in, which Townsend will take. Arguably a bit of urgency there from Palace. Now Puncheon in a central position, feeds it out to the left-hand side. Bit of space for Van Aanholt, who goes infield, gets away from Mata. Perhaps let the ball get away from him. Shaping to shoot on his right foot. They've still got it, Palace, though, as Puncheon has it 30 yards out, feeding it to Schlupp now just outside the left edge of the area. Goes in, then out, cross, blocked by the backside, really, of Valencia. Manchester United should clear. That's awful from Fellaini. He's given it straight to Cabaye, but he's done well to stop the Frenchman breaking into the box. Cleared up to the halfway line. Milivojevic there for Palace wins it back. And they're trying to apply a bit of pressure, of course. They tried to do that in the first half. Couldn't quite fashion many chances, rather. There was that effort from Sako from a corner. But they have really struggled to test De Gea as Jones slipped, having stopped one attack. He's got back to his feet. Townsend has it, though, and it's fed to Sako, who gets to the byline. Cross comes in, free header, and it's a stooping header which hasn't even gone out of play. It was a glancing effort, not enough on it. Cabaye's kept it alive, but then Van Aanholt's tried to feed it to him. Cabaye wasn't expecting it. He was probably offside anyway. It goes behind for a goal kick, but chance there, free header.
Yeah, it was hard, I think, to score from that, but you know, he sort of stoops down, just tries to guide it to that bottom left corner and gets it all wrong to Schlupp there. But again, when Palace got the bits, they got the scraps, they didn't make the most of it, but just not enough bodies in the box. I mean, Sako gets it and he immediately looks to put the cross in, which he does, but he's got 1 to aim for in there. You need more bodies, you need to commit a few more men still keep your defence back there because, you know, it's been fragile, but you've got to put more players up there to try and give yourself a chance.
It's Manchester United defending once again, but Matic helps mop up, and it's worked all the way back to De Gea. Jose Mourinho looks fairly relaxed at the moment. I wouldn't say he's smiling. Maybe the weather's got something to do with it. Appears to be raining at Old Trafford. It's off-tube stereo commentary of the game, but maybe a little bit of a wake-up call the last few minutes for Manchester United. Of course, leading by 3 goals to 1. 3 goals to 0 rather. No sign of a change being made as yet by either side, but surely you would think Palace have got to do it. They might have to wait for more setbacks as Mkhitaryan breaks down the left-hand side. Cross blocked by the legs of Ward. That's gone behind for a corner. I think Mkhitaryan's placed it and he's taken it quickly to Ashley Young inside the box. Palace caught napping. Low effort. Drilled towards the near post. Saved by Hennessey from a corner. That's schoolboy.
I mean, it's absolutely dreadful from Palace. I mean, the defending is just so amateurish there, and Young, he'd be frustrated he hasn't done it better with that. I think he should be going for the far corner, not for that near post where Henny can see most of the ball coming his way. He goes for the far corner. His body's in the way. It could end up in the back of the net. So I think Young's made the wrong decision. But Palace, they're just dreadful at the back. They really, really are.
They do have possession at the back at the moment, certainly with defenders, but it's on the halfway line. As Schlupp's trying to find a bit of space. Back to Van Aanholt, who hits it down the line for Sako. Smalling beats him to it. Valencia works it back to the keeper. Manchester United have possession back. Sako looked a little bit frustrated there. Signs of some kind of response from Palace. They still look shaky at the back, and Manchester United might still score more goals. It remains at United 3, Palace 0 though, but it could have been a little bit different. Schlupp breaking into the box. He was manhandled really by Chris Smalling. The referee decided there was no penalty though, but it certainly looked as though he had a case. And then he had a free header. Sako did really well down the right, picked out a cross for once, finding his teammate, but Schlupp stooping, didn't get any contact on it whatsoever, and the chance went begging. So maybe Palace have still got a goal in them. They need 3, of course, to turn it around. It's 3-0 United.
Indeed, and at the moment the ball is back with Hennessey just inside his own penalty area. So right foot through this one and over halfway, looking for Sako. He's just bumped off the ball by Smalling. He can only put his head out for a throw though, so Palace do have possession. And I mentioned changes, and looking at both benches, I mean, Romelu Lukaku may be one that can get changed for United, for me anyway. Mourinho has said ahead of this game that he hasn't had the personnel to change Lukaku, to change his number 9 there, so maybe it's just a bit of fatigue because he hasn't been right at it today, has Lukaku. You'd have expected him to be in the goals, but he hasn't been. Maybe someone like Martial could come on and play through the middle, or even Rashford, but you look at Palace as well and their options are limited. McArthur, Mutch and Lee are probably the ones that are crying out to them, or Ladapo as well, possibly, to get himself an outing. But I'm saying that United have themselves a free kick on the edge of their own box as Fellaini was brought down. Yeah,
Fellaini intercepting again there. He's doing a good job for Manchester United in the absence of Paul Pogba, of course, is out long term apparently. The injury news updated yesterday from Jose Mourinho. So Pogba a little bit longer than many might have expected, but Fellaini's done a pretty good job, particularly as he scored 2 goals today. But he's not afraid to muck in defensively, as I think that's Cabaye left in a heap on the deck. United pressing high up the pitch. Lukaku can't believe that a free kick has been given, but it is a free kick to the Eagles. It's actually Milivojevic who's got the injury problem. He's got up now, but he's limping and then stretching his left leg. I think it's maybe a shin issue, could be the ankle for Milivojevic. Subs are starting to warm up. We've touched on who might come on. Yeah, I'm not sure the game plan really of Crystal Palace. It's not been easy to spot. They're playing without a natural striker, but yeah, they're not getting bodies in the box. I mean, that's an issue.
It is an issue, and it just sort of, it comes down to, I think, the changing of the manager. Obviously, it was a tricky situation. I'll come back to that in a moment, though, as Palace are attacking down the left.
Yes, with Sako driven low cross comes shot, it's snaked through the legs, it's gone wide of the far post, it's gone behind for a goal kick, but United a little bit complacent there, backing off. And Sako gave himself enough time to at least allow runners to make it into the middle.
Yeah, not a bad one there from Sako, but no one on the end of it. But yeah, going back to the change in manager, under Frank de Boer, Palace are actually playing quite well in the last couple of games in his short tenure. They should have beaten Burnley when they lost 1-0. They had a hatful of chances. The most in particular was Scott Dan missing a free header from 6 yards out in stoppage time. I think they should have beaten Southampton as well, again, when they lost 1-0. But the thing is, now it's a new manager in, a new style as well. So now the players are having to get used to that, of what Roy Hodgson brings. It's hard to just suddenly go from De Boer's style to Hodgson's style. And the games to come into as well, against Manchester City, against Manchester United, two informed teams there, it just looks a lot worse. But I think there's real problems at Palace, I do.
Palace do have a break on down the right-hand side, and it's with Ward. Low ball towards the edge of the box. Cabaye was the target, intercepted by Jones, and now Mkhitaryan leads the counter, but he's easily dispossessed by Van Aanholt. The ball won't make its way through to Lukaku. Ball, Delaney's given away, fed to Lukaku now, onto the left foot, tries to feed it to the far post towards Marcus Rashford. Could have easily gone for goal, tried to be unselfish. It's cleared by Palace, but Delaney taking massive chances inside his own half, nearly giving a gilt-edged opportunity. Van Aanholt's not standing on ceremony though, breaking down at the other end, feeds Sako's turned twice to try and find a teammate. Eventually Cabaye arrives. Bit of space for Andros Townsend, who's had a quiet second half so far. Right edge of the area, gets to the byline, right-footed cross too high, and beyond Van Aanholt, who turned up in the middle, trying to get some support in there, but it's over his head and cleared away by Manchester United. Palace will have to have it back in the halfway line, and more hesitation. Ward and Sako leaving it for each other. Rashford was eventually tackled by Sako, and he's I think might have done himself an injury because he's down and not getting up. Marcus Rashford, there was no foul. Might have just twisted something. Here's Sako for the Eagles. Now Schlupp, left edge of the area. He does go for goal. Tight angle. Looked a little bit greedy, but it has won a corner, blocked out by the corner flag, and Rashford appears to be in a bit of trouble. This could be bad news for Manchester United and England.
Yeah, looks like he's maybe just tweaked something. Is in a... Yeah, looks like a groin, doesn't it, around there? Or is he just... Oh, he might have just caught one in a sensitive area. Oh, yes. I think he's just been accidentally punched somewhere that you don't want to be punched. So I think he's maybe just got that sick feeling, which, yeah, the physio is just getting him to sort of sit upright. So I don't think it's that bad of news for Manchester United and England.
No. England, of course, playing the last two qualifiers next week, well, over the course of next weekend. Looks like Manchester United are going to make a change. Jesse Lingard was stripped and stripping, ready to come on. I can see the fourth official, but no number as yet. I might just be waiting for the corner to be taken, see what the damage is done on Rashford. Corner to Crystal Palace, of course, they're left. And options are plenty at the moment in the middle for this set piece. Delivered in towards the far post. It's Smalling who got up highest to head clear. Out of the area, Puncheon beats Mkhitaryan to the ball. But Mkhitaryan puts enough pressure on. Puncheon runs it into touch. That'll be a throw in. Manchester United fairly deep in their own half, but now of course they can make the change, and it's Jesse Lingard who's coming on. Henrik Mkhitaryan, the man making way.
Yeah, I thought Mkhitaryan maybe could have stayed on just to give him a little bit more time in the game. I thought he may have just taken Rashford off there after receiving that blow, but no, Mkhitaryan off, Lingard on. I don't think it's been Mkhitaryan's best game, to be honest. A few stray passes, he's done some good things, but yeah, not really one that you put on the highlight reel for him.
Yeah, he's at times looks a little bit nonchalant in possession as well. Last couple of breaks he's been caught, and obviously Manchester United haven't been able to make those breaks tell, but obviously he's played his part today. He's always showing for the ball at the very least, and a real threat in and around the box. Not his day-to-day maybe, but Manchester United of course lead by 3-0 as they enter closing in on the final quarter of the game. Ashley Young with a defensive throw down the line, flicked on by Milivojevic, and Sako takes no chances right on the touchline anyway, so they made good ground there from the throw-in, of Manchester United, leading by 3-0. Mata and Fellaini in the first half. Fellaini grabbing his second not long after the restart, and Manchester United playing within themselves. They haven't quite left the second gear, I don't think. Or has that been a little bit too unkind?
No, I think that's fair enough. They haven't been made to work, really, of United. The goals have come easily for them. Palace haven't really had much of a threat against them. It's been very easy to defend against. There's been a couple of occasions where the Eagles have threatened, but apart from that, not really a lot.
Rashford down the left-hand side, tried to thread pass into the box towards Lukaku. It's blocked by the legs of Ward, and Palace could break. It's quite a slow break, although Van Aanholt is ejecting a bit of pace left-hand side as he crosses into enemy territory. Low ball in towards the feet of Sako, has done well to hold off Phil Jones. Finds Schlupp, who's allowed to turn. Now it's with Van Aanholt. Puncheon's playing at left-back at the moment, in the left-back position anyway. Found Milivojevic infield to Cabaye. 25-30 yards out onto his right foot, goes for goal. Never quite coming down, and that will be a goal kick. Just hitting the 3/4 point at Old Trafford. It remains Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0, and Palace really struggling in both final thirds. Really defensively, they do look shaky. They haven't leaked any more goals, but from a corner, they gave Ashley Young far too much time and space. His low shot towards the near post, well dealt with by Hennessey in the end. Lingard's come on for Henrik Mkhitaryan for Manchester United, who haven't really threatened Hennessey apart from that, but they appear to be playing in cruise control. Not the best day for Mkhitaryan. Lingard might inject a bit more pace and determination, intensity into proceedings. United 3-0 up.
Indeed, and as United 3-0 up, Palace have made 2 changes. I'm not too sure, obviously they're 3-0 down, but maybe a sign of things and how Roy Hodgson's feeling, as Riedewald, the man that arrived in the summer, has come on for Jason Puncheon, and James McArthur has come on for Jeffrey Schlupp. So he's taken off probably 2 of your, well, at least one of your fastest players, and Jeffrey Schlupp there, and Puncheon, who does have a little bit about him, but McArthur on and Riedewald on as well. As Palace have possession outside the penalty area at the moment. It is with the new man there in Riedewald, now to the left-hand side, and it's back in field. And they'll look to get things going. Ball towards the edge of the box is stabbed away by Smalling. Lingard tries to get up the scraps, but Mamadou Sakho comes in and wins that with his head. Now Riedewald again, who just looks like he's gone into the centre of midfield, I think, maybe playing alongside Milivojevic, and then Cabaye is allowed to push on a little bit further. Now it's out to the right-hand side, maybe a chance for the ball to come into the box. It's laid towards Ward now. Into the area it goes! Oh, and then on the slight turn there with Bakary Sako with his right foot, and he just blazes it over the bar. Just got under the effort there, but it's a little bit more promising there for Palace in terms of attacking threat. And as I say, attacking threat, United are going to make their second change. Anthony Martial will be coming on in just a moment. That's after he gets his chains off around his neck at the moment there. He's taking his time. 2 gold chains, I'm not too sure about that. But it's probably Rashford or Lukaku will be coming off for Martial. But the Palace changes, what do you think of them?
It's an interesting one. I think they look quite defensive personally, but the 3-0 down, maybe it's let's not let this goal difference get any worse. I mean, in fairness, Manchester United aren't exactly putting Palace under that much pressure. Okay, the break might be on, but here's Crystal Palace on the attack. I think it's a defensive move, but you never quite know. Van Aanholt on the sprint, can't find a teammate. Manchester United, Ashley Young almost gave it away inside the 18-yard box. Arguably my point, they were being a little bit too nonchalant, Manchester United. Yeah,
overplaying at its best there from United. Young very, very lucky to not give away a goal-scoring chance there as United come forward there. Lingard takes it down. Lukaku has it, edge of the penalty area, onto his left foot there. Can he get a shot away? He can! Oh, and he's put it wide there as Lukaku. The referee had actually played advantage there, so the chance is gone. But Romelu Lukaku had a chance to make it 10 in 10 for United, and he misses. He should be putting that away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Saka's done a very good job. I mean, Lukaku wants it on his left foot, and he's shown him the left foot, and he's done all the hard work. I mean, even when he's pulling the trigger, there are 3 Palace defenders around him, but not exactly close to him. and he's got no impediment on that shot. He's put it the wrong side of the post. The keeper was going the other way as well. If he hits the target, it's a fourth goal for Manchester United, his first of the evening, and it's a bit of a howler.
It is. He's got half of the goal to aim for. That's the thing, because Hennessey's, like you said, he's diving the other way. He started to go the other way to his left-hand side, and yeah, half of the goal to go for, and he's completely missed it. But just shows that he is human. Marcus Rashford has gone off for the second change for Manchester United. Form in midweek in that victory over CSK Moscow. Got a goal and 3 assists, I think it was there. The France international. He's got the ball now. Edge of the area, puts across towards the far post, and it's been headed away by Delaney. Straight back out to Young, though. He'll hold the ball under a bit of pressure. Now it's towards Martial again. Oh, great play by him there. Martial, edge of the penalty area, has an overlap, goes himself, tries to put a shot cross in, takes a deflection, and now Palace can maybe come forward themselves. It's volleyed up towards the feet of Sako. He's still well inside his own half, though. Turns on the ball and just holds it, then tries a switching pass, and he's got men over there actually there, and it's taken down by James McArthur. Now he has Van Aanholt to his left-hand side, who he finds. Holds onto the ball, but again, there's just a wall of red shirts in front of him at the moment there. Cabaye now has possession as he looks to bring it further forward. Now he finds Townsend to his right-hand side, who continues forward. A man up to his right-hand side, if he wants to find him, goes for a chip into the box instead. It's deflected away, but then it's back to Townsend there in the penalty area. Tries to cut it back for Cabaye, and then it bounces gratefully into the arms of De Gea. Again, it just won't drop for Palace in that final third.
No, I mean Townsend, I think, has had quite a quiet second half. I thought he figured more, but Matic sticking to the task there, and again, you're looking at the options in the middle. Didn't look to be too many, and in the end, no support, and the attack was dealt with. But it's coming in fits and starts. I think since Martial's come on, which has only been a couple of minutes, all of a sudden side-footed wide by Lingard, just on the edge of the box after the layoff from Lukaku. I mean, it's always rising. It's probably well wide in the end. But the chances since Martial is quite weird. Rashford is not afraid in coming forward, but I think just a little bit more energy and purpose. Manchester United look a little bit more dangerous now as Sako goes off. Might have had a penalty which could have changed the game. I say that it was at 3-0 down, wasn't it? Crystal Palace. But now, I think, last few minutes, United just looking a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, final change has been made by Crystal Palace. Bakary Sako is off, and Freddie Ladapo has come on to replace him. It's no disrespect to Ladapo, but it just shows the limited forward options that Roy Hodgson has got at the moment, with Christian Benteke injured, Connor Wickham injured, Ruben Loftus-Cheek even as a central midfielder. He's out injured today. James Tompkins, the defender, is ill. So there is a lot of people missing. Fosu Mensah as well, one of their defenders. He's ill. He's on loan as they come forward now to the ball from the left-hand side. Cross into the box for De Gea. Ooh, he went to punch it, but it's headed away by his own teammate. It's fallen towards the edge of the area now for Townsend. He continues to hold the ball, trying to get room for a shot. He finds it now towards Riedewald. Now out to the right-hand side for Ward. Puts a low cross in. There may be a chance. Oh, it's missed there by the Dutchman on the swinger. It's cleared away towards the edge of the box. Fellaini now trying to get rid, but Palace have the ball back. It's with Cabaye. Back out to the right-hand side for Ward. He's asking for Ladapo to go down the line. He has the ball just outside the penalty area. He tries to put a cross in, deflects off Jones. Then he gets it back. Ladapo there. Good strength by him. Puts a low cross in, but it's poor. It's easily controlled by Jones, who will now clear this one up to halfway. But Riedewald there had a chance. I know it was on the volley, but it wasn't coming fast towards him.
No, he's missed it, and I think, unfortunately, well, he's mishit it. A slight touch is, was it Cabaye just behind him? If Riedewald misses it completely, I think Cabaye's got a chance there, but because there was a slight deflection on it, then it wrong-footed Cabaye. But they looked a little bit stretched there at Manchester United. It wasn't convincing defending, but it's that final ball, isn't it, or the final shot for Palace. It's not been working all season, and it's not working today. The wait goes on, but another day, like in other games, they could have scored a goal or two. Here they come again. They're still trying. Yeah,
it's a good-looking forward ball there by Cabaye, but it's just a little bit overhit there. Ward was trying to get on the end of it, but it's going to run out of play, and it'll be a throw. And final change made by Manchester United coming on now will be Ander Herrera, and it's going to be Juan Mata, who scored the opening goal in this game, who will be coming off a decent, if not sort of extravagant game from Matic to say.
Yeah, he scored. Okay, I think he figured more in the first half than the second again, but United sitting back, particularly after scoring at that third so early in the second period. It's not unusual, these three changes for Jose Mourinho. Rashford for Martial, Mkhitaryan, those three behind Lukaku, replaced by another three. That isn't unusual, no surprise. Arguably it's more defensive. Herrera could play more centrally. Maybe Lingard will pop out to the right and Herrera through at the middle, but I think it's one just to try and shut up shop, really.
He doesn't like to give Lukaku a rest at any time, does he there? He's played just every minute, I think, of the matches that he's played in this season. There's a free kick for Palace. Ward was just caught a little bit late there by Fellaini. There's going to be a chance for them to whip the ball into the box. It's around 25-ish yards out, right-hand side. Maybe just a little bit, maybe 30 yards actually looking at this one again. But they have looked dangerous at times from set plays. As there's been an equaliser in the game at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke 1, Southampton 1. Goal scorer will be coming for you very shortly, but just look over this set piece at the moment. Cabaye standing over it. Townsend as well with his left foot, but from Townsend, I'm probably trying to whip this one and get it to curl back towards that top left corner. Hopefully someone can get a flick on for them. The referee just making sure everyone's behaving in the box, and Townsend steps up left-footed. It is there towards the far corner. Ooh, and it's gone past that post, the far post there. Well, it's exactly what he's trying to do. It's maybe a little bit flatter than I thought it would have been, but just doesn't get that bend on it. I think De Gea probably has it covered, though, even if it is on target. Yeah,
decent strike, and it's hit with power. Like you say, De Gea's probably going to at least motion towards the ball. If it was on target, he's read the situation well. I think it's good that he went for the far post as well, gave his attackers an opportunity to at least get a touch if they could. Can't tell you the equaliser was Yoshida for Southampton. I wonder if that's a set piece. But it's 1-1. Stoke, of course, missed the first half penalty.
Yeah, right from Mark Hughes' side in that game, having been 1-0, like Rob said, missed the penalty when it was 1-0 to them, and now they're being pegged back. That's one of two second-half goals in the 3 p.m. games. Manchester United obviously now one, scoring the third, and now the equaliser. Everything else is as you were, as Palace try and come forward. Ladapo holds the ball on the halfway line, now finds Van Aanholt to his left-hand side. Ladapo making a forward run, but he ignores him and goes down the line to Townsend, who just stabs it back towards Delaney on the halfway line, and then that's a poor pass, though, hospital pass to Riedewald, and now United can try and come forward there, but that through ball is poor from Herrera, and it's going to be dealt with by Delaney. His clearance is poor, though, slices out of play, and there'll be a throw-in, and Delaney putting his hand up saying, yep, that was my fault, because, I mean, he got no shout, did Riedewald there, and he got his pocket picked straight away.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think that's an easy ball as well for Manchester United. I mean, all they have to do is miss Delaney, and Lingard's in behind, but he's trying to just get it right to his feet. And of course Delaney's made the interception to make amends, so I think it's a bit of a let-off, but like you say, Delaney held his hand up straight away. But they still look a little bit shaky at the back. They've seen a little bit more of the ball over the last 10 minutes or so. Obviously had a couple of chances, nothing necessarily clear-cut, but there could have been a chance there. But there is always that danger on the break.
Yes, indeed. I would say Ladapo's shown a couple decent touches when the ball has come to him, so maybe he might feature more prominently. With mentioned before the lack of forward players or strikers they have in their team, with Benteke out for at least 6 weeks with a knee injury. As United come forward, the ball is sprayed towards Lukaku, who just gets his head to it, but he's come from an offside position, so that will be a free kick to Palace, who have under 10 minutes plus any stoppage time to somehow try and have a miraculous comeback and find 3 goals to get a draw out of this one. Still Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0. The ball is around the back at the moment with Palace. It's towards the edge of their own penalty area with Delaney. They want to bring the ball forward. They're under a little bit of pressure from Lingard, not too much though, as the ball is played forward by Riedewald, but United have it back. Maybe an opportunity. Valencia plays this one in field. Herrera slips the ball into the penalty area. Martial with a touch there. Oh, Martial, he's put it wide. What an opportunity. Well, that should be the 4th there. Lukaku just missed one before, and I'm being a little bit harsh because Hennessey's actually made a really good save there. Looking at it again, takes a touch, and yeah, it's a fantastic save there by the Wales international. Yeah, brilliant save. He's come out quickly. He's got right on top of Martial.
It's a great move though for Manchester United. On another day he might not have taken a touch, but I think taking that touch has just allowed Hennessey to close him down a little bit more, and he's able to put the block in. I think it was his chest actually that he blocked it with, but good keeping from Hennessey.
Yeah, corner kick to go in for United. In-swing and delivery from Young. It's a decent one there. Oh, bounces down inside the penalty area. It's going to be picked back up by Herrero towards the byline. Chips one towards the far post, but he's got too much on that. That will be a goal kick, but I don't know what was happening when that corner came in, because Smalling's got his back towards the goal. He's half bent over, and it basically hits him, I think, on his back and drops down, and somehow to a Manchester United player. It just again shows the frailties of this Palace defence at the back. They have not been good enough.
Well, into the final 10 minutes at Old Trafford, and there should have really been more goals. Romelu Lukaku missed an absolute sitter after the referee played a good advantage when Lingard was fouled, but one-on-one with the keeper, he's put it the wrong side of the post, with Hennessey guessing the wrong way as well. Hennessey came up big to deny Martial one-on-one as Palace's defence continues to look leaky, although they've had a couple of opportunities themselves to at least get off the mark this season. Riedewald mishit after good work down the right-hand side. Unfortunately, his touch also meant that Cabaye couldn't convert. They were queuing up before Townsend put a 25-yard free kick just wide of the post. Remains Manchester United 3, Palace 0.
There's a clearance upfield by De Gea is pretty poor actually, as Milivojevic finds the ball towards Townsend. Midway through Manchester United's half, he plays it out to the right-hand side where he has Ward in support. Now Ward feeds it down the line again, but it's overhit, and it's a simple ball which he's been unable to execute behind for a goal kick for United, who have around 7 minutes for any stoppage time. Just to see out this, it's not been a fluent performance really from United, not been their greatest display this season, but they've got what will be 3 points probably for them. They're 3 goals to the good, 3-0 ahead. It'll be a clean sheet for them as well, but I think Mourinho will be wanted just a little bit more in the international break coming. Maybe the international break is good for them. You know, some of the players will get to just ease off a little bit. Belgium have already qualified, so Lukaku might get himself a rest possibly. Batshuayi might get a start, but at least maybe some of their players can just sort of relax for a time being. Yeah,
potentially. I think Martial has ruled himself out of France, so he asked not to be included as well. I didn't think Manchester United were particularly brilliant last week against Southampton, but managed to grind out a result. This one, it's at home. They've got 3 goals, and another day, of course, they might have had a couple more. They haven't created that many chances in the second half, particularly since the goal. But Lukaku's missed an absolute sitter, and of course Hennessey's come up big for Martial. That's Martial's stop moments ago. So they might have got more goals. It's one of those things. Palace, the huffing and puffing. Roy Hodgson probably knew he had a big job before today's game. I think they've got issues at both ends of the pitch. I know it's Manchester United at Old Trafford, but still some of their defending has been a bit loose. Not fantastic, and if they're not scoring goals, they've got to at least make themselves hard to beat. But they've conceded early in both halves. I mean, it's game over. So, yeah, Palace have got a job.
They do. They have a big job. I mean, there's rumours that they're looking into the free agent market. Carlton Cole was one that was mentioned, but that's been dismissed by Roy Hodgson. Ricky Lambert's name has also popped up, and that wasn't dismissed, actually. Hodgson didn't comment on that speculation. So, I mean, it is quite bare at the moment is the cupboard for Crystal Palace, and I suppose January will be a huge window for them to try and bring in some players depending on where or how they're doing in the league, but I can't see them getting out of this hole anytime soon, as United have possession around the back at the moment with Jones finds Smalling towards Fellaini, back up from that knock he received about a minute ago, chips it forward for Lukaku, wins his header. Oh, and there's acres of room now for Herrera as he brings this ball down into his grasp. Now into the penalty area goes Martial, cuts this one back, Lukaku at the far post, and there's the 4th goal, and there's Lukaku's goal there. 10 in 10 for the Belgium international. He was free, unmarked, he couldn't miss, and he didn't. That's the cherry on top of the cake. It's United 4, Palace 0.
Romelu Lukaku has finally got on the score sheet. Good move for Manchester United. Flick on from Lukaku himself. Herrera beat Ward to the ball, slipped it down the left channel to Anthony Martial. The pull back across the 6-yard box. Lingard might have got a faint touch, but he took defenders away, and Lukaku 6 yards out gave Hennessey no chance whatsoever. He did miss a sitter early. He's made amends now. It's Manchester United 4, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, certainly puts a bit of gloss to this result for United. And the thing is with Palace, you could maybe understand that if they concede a fourth, because they're pushing men forward there, throwing the kitchen sink at United, but they haven't been. That is the thing. So it just highlights the weakness of the defence even more in this game, and how they've just been sliced open again. A couple passes, but the flick on from Lukaku to win the head. I mean, Herrera has so much time. I mean, he's about 15 yards away from it when the ball actually, you see it going up in the air and you think, well, someone's going to get there first with Palace. They don't. He's allowed to just to bring it down there, thread it through for Martial, an easy cut back, and Lukaku's unmarked to the far post. Well, Roy Hodgson certainly has a lot to think about over the international break, and, well, you see the Crystal Palace chairman in the stands. He's got a lot of thinking to do. They nearly give away the ball inside their own area again. They've got away with it though, and now coming forward is Van Aanholt. Lingard gets back with a little foot in, but it's still with Palace there, as it's McArthur on the edge of the box. Into the area he goes there. Lingard again gets a foot in, but can only poke it. Well, I don't think he's poked it behind. I think it's come off actually. McArthur there, double deflection, so it's going to be a goal kick to United. We see Roy Hodgson barking out orders on the touchline. And he's got a hell of a lot of work to do, hasn't he, Roy Hodgson, as there's been another goal, a potential winner at the Bet365 Stadium.
Peter Crouch with about 5 minutes to go. That's when the goal went in. So it's Stoke 2, Southampton 1. Still no goals, Bournemouth, Leicester or West Ham, Swansea. But that's 2-2-1s now. West Brom still leading Watford by 2-1. Stoke now 2-1 up over Southampton. United running riot.
They are indeed. Another 4-0. That seems to be their go-to result at times this season for United. They had a 4-0 over West Ham was on the opening day of the season. They've had another 4-0 as well. So the goals are coming, and this is better. These are games last season or the season before where United may not have won. They may have drew. They may have only won by 1 goal or something like that. But there's that feel-good factor that they've got by racking up the goals. It just makes everything feel a lot better. The performance, like we said, hasn't been their best of the season, but they've managed to score 4 goals from it, and there's potential they could score more as Martial comes forward there, flicks the ball in field to Lingard, who's then wiped out. It's going to be a free kick, and they've got a chance to put a ball into the box. As Martial at the moment is down on the floor, though, holding his right knee, maybe a little bit of a worry.
Yeah, a little bit of a worry. Obviously, he's only just come on the pitch into the final 2 minutes of the 90. Well, final 90 seconds, really. Might be a bit of injury time. You never know, Mike D might take a bit of sympathy, a more sympathetic route. Rubbing his right knee now, Anthony Martial, although he's been helped up by Ashley Young and Johan Cabaye. I guess an international teammate there. So no physios at the moment, so it doesn't look too serious. Free kicks in a fairly wide position, but again, Manchester United is looking dangerous. Not committing bodies forward, but it's still causing Palace problems.
They are causing them a lot of problems, and the defence has looked okay for United at times. I think it's just how easy the game has been, that they've tried to play themselves out from the back a few times, like we mentioned, a little bit laboured at times, and that's what's nearly caught them on a couple of occasions. But looks like it's going to be another clean sheet, and this is all without Eric Bailly as well, who was dropped down to the bench for this game. He's been starting regularly for them. So Jones and Smalling is a centre-back combination as they take this free kick. It's whipped in by Young towards the far post, and there's a man lurking, but Hennessey comes off his line, collects the ball, and manages to stop that. But I think that was Fellaini going in for his hat-trick there. Yeah,
he hasn't quite had the hat-trick chance, has he? And obviously he's a threat there, but I think that delivery was a little bit higher, and it allowed a bit more floaty kind of delivery rather than his second goal, for instance, which was really whipped in with pace, and it's allowed Hennessey to make a pretty comfortable claim. I don't think Hennessey's... I'm not Hennessey's biggest fan, to be honest, as a keeper, but I don't think he's done an awful lot wrong today. He's made a couple of saves. I can't really fault him. Maybe Fellaini's the third goal. He didn't really do much. That ball whipped into the 6-yard box. I don't know. But there are players there. But I don't think he's done an awful lot wrong. But his side's still losing 4-0.
Yeah, that's the only goal. The third one where I think he could have done better as United try and spring forward there. A long ball looking for Lukaku was overhit as again Hennessey comes way outside his area to clear that ball. But Palace have a chance now. Oh, that's a dreadful attempt at through ball from Townsend looking for Ladapo, who'd done well to hold it up and lay it off towards the England international, but United clear, and they're going to get a throw or a free kick actually. Martial again has just been given a bit of rough treatment on that sideline. He's just putting his left boot back on. I think it will be a free kick actually to United. No goals elsewhere, still 0-0. Bournemouth Leicester, same scoreline in West Ham Swansea. West Brom 2, Watford 1, Stoke 2, Southampton 1. 4-0 in our game. Just as I speak, West Ham look like they've just scored a winner actually. West Ham 1, Swansea 0. The late game today, which is available on the service as well. 5:30, the big one at Chelsea against Manchester City. Of course, the Citizens do not have Sergio Aguero in their squad after the car crash that he was involved in on Thursday. He's set to be out for around 4 weeks, I think, there, as he's broken his ribs. But about 2.5 minutes to go in our game. And I was saying, not the greatest performance of United, but it's job done. It's 3 points. It puts the pressure on City now, so they'll go temporarily at least to the top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, they'll put pressure on City, a bit of goal difference boost as well. Of course, City have been banging in the goals for fun, and they top the table with the superior difference. But yeah, it's going to put a bit of pressure. You'd have to say Manchester United's early season fixtures have been pretty kind, haven't they, to the Red Devils? I mean, some games, okay, I didn't think they played particularly well last week. I don't think they've been at full throttle today, and they're still winning 4-0. Bigger tests are going to come, but last season, of course, they weren't winning some of these games, particularly struggled at home, a lot of draws, so they can only win beat what's put in front of them. This season, they're doing that so far, and maybe there will be a challenger, but I think it's been a kind opening fixture list.
Yes, I would agree. Mentioned ahead of this game, they've not really been tested in terms of higher standard opposition, but when those matches come along against their rival City, against Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, those Arsenal, that's the games that they need to pick up the points. And we'll have to see if they can do that. The goal scorer for West Ham, by the way, was Diafra Sako. So West Ham 1, Swansea 0, the only game at 3 p.m. not to have a goal. At the Vitality, Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0. As we edge towards full time, we've got about 10 seconds of the 3 minutes of added time to go. Ball around the halfway line. United pick up the scraps, and I'm sure when Valencia clears this ball, who's just gone in field, Valencia gets it back. The referee